Focus. Okay, good afternoon everyone. So today I am doing a bit of a worth it episode. So basically today I'm on a quest to find 3 study spots, but the study spots have to be cafes that are also like very comfortable for people to study in, because today is actually very rainy, as you can see. So initially me and my friend Z we're going to go and have like a nice date at the Domain, but because of the weather we can't do that, so we've decided to do some work instead. So this is why we are going to go find the best cafe study spots in Auckland. So we've picked out 3 places and we're going to try see which one's the best. So yeah, let's go. We need to review it like on like a few criteria.
Oh yeah, we do.
So what is our criteria? First criterion, studyability. Studyability?
Yeah.
Studyability, vibe, and coffee maybe?
Okay, yeah, coffee.
Yeah?
Definitely.
So what do we think about this?
I think it's really nice, but I wouldn't study here. It's a very, you know, you come here to meditate with books.
Meditate. So studyability, I'd give it like
1.
no, not 1, like probably like a 5
Out of, oh, we do
out of 10.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so I thought we were out of 5.
5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because you can come here and you can study if you're by yourself.
Yeah, and I think like if you can get a seat, it will be really nice. But there's only really 2 tables in the whole area.
The vibe is kind of like I think would be 4
Yeah.
out of 10. And what do you think?
I think it's a good, like, the vibe, I would give it an 8, partly because I just love books so much, and this is such like a, you know, chill vibe for me. Love it, yeah.
For me, I probably just want to sleep because I don't really read books. And then what was our last one? Coffee. We need to try coffee. Thank you. It's really hot.
It is, it's quite.
Okay, well,
burning.
should we give it like a 10-minute break for it to cool down, and then we'll give a coffee review. Give your review of the coffee.
Out of 10. Probably being a coffee snob. 5.
5. I give a review of, yeah, I think a 5 is pretty. Yeah. We're gonna head to our next stop. So we're gonna go to a place in Mount Eden. So the one that we just went to was called the Book Exchange. The next one we're gonna go to is called Chapter Book and Tea Shop. I saw. Thanks. Hi. So hey everyone, so we forgot to do the chapter book and tea shop review, but basically let's just rate their studyability, vibe, and coffee out of 10. Coffee and tea, we'll say. So how do you rate chapter?
I rate it a good 8 out of 10.
The only setback is that it's really quiet and it's really nice to study, and the only setback is the smaller table, so you have to really position your books well in order to, you know, get organized and stuff.
Yeah. So for me, for study ability, I actually rate it probably like a 9 out of 10. I really like it because it's small, because if for the other cafes, the first one, there were no tables, so that was really bad. But for Crave Cafe, I thought that it was a bit too big for my liking. Like, I wouldn't feel like I could study by myself there, versus that chapter you could definitely study by yourself, which I liked. And it could fit 2 people, but it would just be a bit of a tight squeeze with the 2-person tables. I did see that there was a bigger table, so potentially if you were on the big bigger table that was in front of us, then we might have been able to have more space. So what about vibe? What do you think about vibe?
I think the vibe is like a good like 8 out of 10 as well, because I personally really love tea, and I just love how, like, you know, there's like books everywhere, so it's really great. The only thing is I wish there was more variety of books, because it was just mainly romance books. I was like, oh, I wish there was like other genres
there were when you say romance, so put it in quotation.
It's that kind of romance.
So yeah, for vibe, I would say that it's probably a little bit of a lower score for me, like probably like a 7 for me. The vibe is good, it's very quiet, but definitely it's like lacking the aesthetic element, which I highly appreciate. And that's because it's sort of like an older cafe, if you get what I mean. Like it's not really made for younger people.
Definitely, I totally agree with that actually.
And then the last rating is coffee. So they specialize in tea, so we actually chose to have the tea instead of the coffee. I would definitely say the tea is like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, oh, definitely, for sure.
It was so good.
You get such a massive amount for what you pay for as well. So it's a $4.30 for one person, and instead of, you know, getting the usual just like 1 cup, you actually get a pot with your cup.
So really and I had the Turkish apple, highly recommend. It was so good, and it was perfect for like cold weather. Yeah, definitely. Have you given your rating for it, for your the coffee and tea?
Oh, did I? If I haven't, it's 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10? Okay, great. So similar to mine. Oh, well, my hand is getting so... okay, I need to do it this way. Okay, so how do we rate Crave?
For study-wise, personally, I really like Crave. I like how, you know, big it was, and because I, as a person, kind of quite like white noise, and I quite like to hear the ambience of people like talking and stuff. So it works well for me. Yeah, so it's like a good, probably like 8 out of 10 for me.
8 out of 10. For me, I would grade it 7 out of 10. Just because I feel like like I said before, Crave is a very open space. It's huge. The only place that you could really be sort of quite like closed in is upstairs in the library, which I would have shown in the video. And it was so big that I would feel sort of uncomfortable studying by myself. So I would say that it's really good for like group study. I would rate it 7. For the vibe, I would say that it's a very good vibe, probably 9 out of 10. Aesthetics on point, so comfy with like sofas and like all those big tables as well, which is great for like doing work. What about you?
Yeah, I would rate it like a good like 8.5. I just really like how you can like, there's so many like knickknacks for you to look at, so it's very pleasing for my vision.
And then for the coffee, I would say 9 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, I would give it a 10 out of 10. So I had a flat white, and the barista was super amazing, and it was probably one of the best flat whites I've had in a year, so I highly recommend.
So what is your preference of choice, C?
I would go with Crave.
Crave? Okay. I would say that I would prefer Chapter. I think that Crave would have gone the highest score. We'll calculate it down here, down below, but I do think that ultimately I would go to Chapter more than I would go to Crave, just because I don't usually study with other people that much, so I would probably choose Chapter because it's smaller and I would actually study, versus Crave would be so distracting for me. So yeah, I choose Chapter. Bye.